Movie lights. Don't waste your time watching complete movies and series.
Our movie today talks about our hero Sam, whose father has been missing for 20 years because of technology. He keeps looking for his father and enters the virtual world, suffering in it for a long time until he finds his father, but unfortunately they don't try to live together. Our movie starts today with our hero, who, after his father disappeared a very long time ago, over more than 20 years, he knows that technology faltered and locked him into a virtual world, and after that, in 1989, Fallon appears as the owner of a software company, and he stays with his son Sam and tells him about his inventions. We know from his words that he invented a virtual world called Network and that he was able to enter the mobile world, and when Feeling was young in Alter invented this virtual world, and he spent a nice time in it. He met a brave warrior named Tron back then, and Fallon learned many things from him, such as car games and many other things. But Flynn also has many obligations in his real world, and he can't spend all day in the virtual world. That's why he thought and invented a copy that remains the original of himself, and he calls him Colo so that he exists in the virtual world and does the tasks instead of. And after a while, Cork and Colo finish building the virtual world, and it becomes like the real world. At some point, they find a strange invention, and at that time, Flynn doesn't talk and tells his son Sam that he will be. He tells him another time, and after that, we find that the news talks about Flynn's disappearance in a strange way, and the members of the board of directors in the company say that Flynn's actions in the period after his wife's death were not normal, but they are not sure if this topic has anything to do with his disappearance. At the moment, Sam is living with his grandfather and grandmother, and he feels very sad because his father abandoned him. After 20 years, Sam appears on his motorcycle and goes to his father's company. When he reaches the company, he can penetrate the company's systems, open the door, go to the second floor, and stop the surveillance cameras for seconds until he reaches the room that he wants it to get to the main computer and tries to penetrate the alarms, but the warnings are activated, but he doesn't notice, and at that time the guards go to see what is happening, and at that time there will be a meeting of the company's board of directors, and the new president will announce the latest inventions. It is an advanced security operating system that will be available to all people, but this security system will be paid, and at that time, Flynn's friend will be upset with the words of the new president, because if Flynn was still there, he would not have agreed to this talk because it would have made it free for all people, and at the same time, the screens in front of them were hacked at that time. The video of the dog appears, and at that time the president is very nervous and tries to stop him, but he doesn't know anyone else who can get to the source of the breach and discover that someone breached the new security system, and they downloaded it on the internet for free. And at that time, Sam will be proud of what he did, but he will not be happy because the guard sees him and goes out after him until they reach the roof and surround Sam from everywhere. So he jumps from the roof quickly and turns on the parachute so that he does not fall, but the parachute connects to the traffic light a little and knows how to free himself, and he falls on a taxi. Of course, the driver is very shocked and increases the speed so that they fall him, and really Sam falls in front of the police ambush and heals, and after a while, Sam pays the bail and gets out of prison, and after that, he returns to his old house. Flynn's friend Alan goes home to him and tells him that he likes the tricks he did. And at that time, we know that Sam likes to make pranks in the company every year on the same day that his father disappeared, and Alan tells him that his father will have a signaling device before he disappears, and this day is the first time in 20 years that a signal comes to him from this device, and they know that the signals arrived from the old toy store with his father's purchase. Sam's friend asks him to go there and find out what's going on, but Sam refuses because he's very upset because his father abandoned him a long time ago. Alan is screaming at him, and they know that it is impossible for his father to abandon him because of his father. Before he disappeared, Alan knew that he had discovered something great, and of course it had something to do with his disappearance. And after all this, Sam doesn't believe him and kicks him out of his house, but Alan gives him the keys to this toy store, because if one day he changes his mind and decides to go there and Sam prefers to sit and thinks with himself and feels guilty because he thinks of his father, he decides to go to this store, but he finds the place deserted, so he remains bored, entertains himself, and plays a game called You Can See, and when he enters the coin in the game, it falls from him to the ground. He finds a strange mark on the ground, so he moves the game from its place and discovers that he sees a gate that the underground place downloads and there is a computer in it, and it turns it on, and he can smartly decipher the codes, but a very strange laser device works and light comes out of it, and Sam moves to the virtual world. And when Sam arrives in the world, he doesn't understand. Where and what is he doing here? And suddenly the earth shakes hard from beneath him, and at that time they see a group of virtual guards arresting him, and then they stop him next to the rest of the virtual prisoners, and no one knows that he is a human being, and after that they all get into a vehicle. He takes him to a hypothetical worker who examines all the people to determine which of them will be killed and who will continue with them. He will enter the game challenge, and Sam has good luck because he will continue with them, and to make sure of his sufficiency, he gets him into a game and paints him to another place. We see one of the family members throwing himself after they chose him with Sam, but the strange thing is that he kept ending his life as if he had entered the game challenge in a little, and he takes Sam to the weapons depot and shows him 4 virtual girls wear a suit equipped with new armor and an identity disc and tell him that he will use this disc as a weapon. One of these girls named Jane encourages him to win the game and blows the whistle. Then he finds himself in the ring and gets ready to play the challenge game with the other competitor, and he finds a very big audience in it, and at that time the president. And the match starts. Sam is under a very violent attack from his competitor, and he was about to die by the disc, but fortunately for him, he avoids the attack and looks at the rest in front of him. He finds the contestants killing each other in a very violent way, so he is terrified, but he has no solution but to use the disc to defend. At first, he failed to hit the competitor, although he threw the disc more than once. At that time, the competitor uses his disc and breaks the ground under Sam, and he is about to fall underground, but Sam's luck is that he can get up again and see the competitor coming to him from far away. Sam uses his intelligence and breaks the ground and the opponent fall underground, and so Sam won the first round, and after a while, the second round starts, and the competitor in front of him is very evil, but Sam can avoid any attack and gets down to the ground and hits him with all speed, and then he runs away from the ring, and Jarvis likes him and his style of fighting, and after that, Sam reaches the last round. And he will play with a rival named Rensselaer, and this time he will have 2 discs, and this will make the fight harder. The round starts, and a fierce fight takes place between them. What makes the matter more difficult is that the gravity of the earth moves from under them until Rensselaer beats him and falls to the ground, and he will kill him, but he sees blood coming down. Sam knows that he is a human and doesn't accept to kill him. After that, they stand in front of the president to introduce himself. And when the president hears Sam's full name, he asks him to go to the office immediately. Sam actually goes to him and he discovers that the president is Flynn's father. Flynn treats him coldly, and the president goes to see the contents of Sam, and when he sees his memories, he doesn't find the information he looks for. And then Sam asks his father to come home with him, but his father refuses, and they are shocked by the fact that he is all, and then he sends Sam to another competition in the motorcycle racing arena. And we find there is graffiti encouraging the fans. To motivate them even more, we also find a mysterious figure watching the race from above. Sam joins the virtual team. They are supposed to fight the Colo team. Unfortunately, the whole team is much more professional than Sam's team, so they beat them one after another until Sam's turn comes. And they fall to the ground, and then he reaches the second stage, in which he will enter the fight with everyone, and an unknown girl appears, comes in her car, takes Sam quickly, makes a hole in the wall, and goes out of the world of the network or to a place where no one can reach them. The girl introduces herself and tells him that her name is Cora and that it is just a virtual program, and he delivers it to a house isolated on the mountain, and as soon as Sam enters he meets the real Flynn and gets to know his son Sam when he sees him and runs to him and hugs him after eagerly, and they don't believe that he is gathered with him again after they were away from each other for 20 years, and at that time a ball tells him that Flynn was teaching her so many things about the real world like board games, real books, and so many other things because she was excited to get to know everything in the real world. After a while, Flynn, Sam, and Cora sit and have dinner together, and Sam keeps telling his father about everything that happened in his absence. After that, Sam asks him what happened to him, so Flynn tells him that he used to work with Colo and Tron to develop the virtual world into an ideal world, and one day they discovered the miracle that he was talking about, and it was an electronic company called Essus. This company has algorithms that develop automatically without human intervention, and they also have the ability to solve natural puzzles that humans were unable to solve. In addition to that, they also have digital genetics. Flynn considered this thing a miracle, and he was very impressed with it, but all of it was contrary to opinion because he didn't want anyone to control the world except him, so he decided to stay against them and ambushed Flynn and Tron to get rid of them. He controlled the virtual world, and indeed, he was able to get rid of Tron, but Flynn was able to escape to an outside. Out of the network, Kolo was able to destroy all the people of ASOS, and at that time, Flynn knew that escaping from this world was through a gate that closed at a certain time, and Kolo locked it after he arrested Flynn to prevent him from escaping. He has been imprisoned in this world since that time, and after that, we know that 8 hours in the virtual world are equivalent to 30 seconds in the real world, which means that Flynn has been locked up in the virtual world for 20,000 years. But the mere fact that Sam entered the virtual world means that Kolo is the one who sent him a signal to lure him here, and the gate opens again because the gate will only open from outside. That's why Sam asks. His father runs away with him from the same gate he entered from, but Flynn says no because he is sure that it is a trap from Kolo and that he meant to send him the signal to lure God and steal a cork disc and enter the real world because this disc contains all the information that will help him reach the real world, and sure, he will be waiting for them at. The gate opens to steal the disc, so Sam goes to sit in the room alone, and he is very accurate. At that time, Cora goes to take a card that she was hiding inside and write it, and she goes to tell Sam and tell him that this card will help him reach a virtual person named Zeus, and this is the same person who was helping the people of Ezos, and there are rumors that say that Ezos has the authority to reach anywhere in the network and this enters as if he knows the gate road, so Sam gets up quickly and takes a motorcycle without his father knowing and goes to the city. At that time he is Cork dreaming of old memories with his family, and after a while Cork wakes up and discovers that his son did what is in his mind too. He walked away and told Cora that what Sam did was wrong because this way they would make him fall. As for Sam's, he would have arrived in the city and disguised himself so that no one would know him. But one of the guards sees his motorcycle, and through it, he knows the location of Flynn's house, and then the guard goes to inform Kolo of this information. Kolo takes his men quickly and moves to the house, Flynn, and as soon as he gets there, he doesn't find anyone. He keeps exploring at home, and he remembers the day when Flynn was born, and his promise was that they would change the whole world. These memories make everyone very angry and break everything around him, and we go back to Sam, who is lost in the city center, and he goes to the building of Zeus, who has a very big party there, and after a while Sam meets Zeus, and he seems to have a very strange personality. They sit and talk to each other, and at the same moment, the guards of Kolo attack the place, and it turns out that Zeus is the one who sold Sam to Kolo and reported him, so Sam keeps fighting with him, and at that time, Cora, also, she comes and keeps defending Sam, and at that time Zeus uses his weapon, and he trains randomly on all of them. During this engagement, Cora loses her hand and loses consciousness, and suddenly Flynn appears and finishes most of Kolo's guards, taking Sam and Cora, and they go to ride the elevator, but one of the guards pulls the disc before the elevator door closes, and they look, the elevator, and he keeps falling with them and killing the soldier before he escapes with the disc. At this moment, Flynn knows how to control the elevator and stop it before it falls, and he keeps screaming at Sam because he endangered their lives. After that, they ride a virtual vehicle to get them to the gate, and at that time, Flynn takes the Cora disc, reprograms it again, and can return her cut hand, and he tells Sam that Cora is the last girl from the people of Assos, so Sam is very surprised, and at that time Kolo arrives at Zeus and offers to hand him a cork in exchange for being a dowel over the city, so he makes himself agree, and as soon as he takes the disc from him, he walks with his men, blows up the building, and kills Zeus. As for Sam, he prefers to talk to his father about the latest inventions of human beings, such as the internet, and he tells him that his grandparents died, so Sam is shocked. And Flynn keeps telling him that he is ready to give up all his inventions in exchange for spending the rest of his life with him, and a little bit later, Cora sits talking to Sam and tells him that his father is the one who saved her from the purge process, and she tells him that she considers him like her father and that because of him, she loves the human world, and she sits and tells him to tell her information about the real world, so he sits and tells her about the shape of the sun, and suddenly the ship changes direction, and they move to a huge ship carrier, so they sit looking for any place to escape from this place before. They explore the place and are shocked to know that Kolo stole a very huge army of virtual programs and reprogrammed them to help him invade the world. At that time, he sees Rensler and makes a patrol in the place, and Flynn recognizes him as soon as he sees him because he is his old friend Tron, and it becomes clear to us that he did not die or anything, and he guesses that he used reprogramming to carry out all orders, and she has Cora decide to sacrifice herself to escape him, so she takes off her disc and gives it to Sam, and then she enters to fight Renzel to distract him, but he arrests her and takes her with him, but at Flynn's and Sam's, they can escape, but at Kolo, he goes to put the disc in a secret room inside his tower, and Flynn and Sam, they can enter the tower and see Kolo having a meeting with his army. He decides to use Cork to open the gate and get to the real world and occupy it. Sam and his father make a plan to fail Kolo's plan, and each one of them goes on his way. At that time, Flynn arrives at the plane stop and reprograms one of the guards to help him steal the plane and escape with it. As for Sam, he arrives at Kolo's control room, finishes the soldiers there, and threatens Jarvis with his life to give him the disc. He takes the disc and suddenly comes to escape. Rensler intervenes with Cora as his hostage, but Cora and Sam can do it and throw him from the edge of the tower, and he takes Cora and jumps off the bridge, and they use parachutes, and a little bit later, he meets Cork, and he is ready for the plane. They run away quickly, and at the same time, Kolo gets to the control room, meets Rensler, and knows that the disc was stolen, so he gets crazy and kills Jarvis because of his failure, and gets on a plane to get to the gate before them. At that time, at Flynn, they are flying over a virtual sea, and they see Kolo's plane coming on them. Sam uses his weapon and shoots at the second plane, and Flynn and Rensler see each other and remember all his old memories. They think that Tron restores consciousness and knows that Kolo is his enemy, so he moves as fast as he can and beats Kolo's plane and destroys it. But Kolo has the ability to make a plane in a second and really make another plane, and unfortunately, Tron drowns in the sea, and after a while, he and his team get to the gate, where they find Kolo in their faces and face each other. They agreed a long time ago with each other to build a perfect world. Flynn apologizes to everyone and says that the time of the virtual world still young and his goals were not right because he intended to make an ideal integrated world, and after that, he discovered that there is no perfection, which is why he changed all his plans and goals and regretted what he did. At the same time, everyone gets angry at him and attacks him, and when his team goes to help him, he tells them to run away until they reach the gate because he has a plan. But Sam is afraid to lose his father again, so he goes to hit Kolo, but it doesn't affect him, but Cora goes to pull Sam quickly before the bridge is separated by it, and all of it goes to fall. Cork takes his disc, but he is shocked when he finds Cora disc, so he knows that Flynn replaced the two discs together and gave Cora disc to escape from the place, so all jump on the other side of the bridge to prevent Sam and Cora from escaping, and in the moment, Flynn decides to sacrifice himself and makes a way of merging between him and Kolo. He keeps remembering his memories with his son, looks at him for the last time, and says goodbye to him. At that time, a very huge explosion happens that destroys the virtual world. But fortunately for Sam and Cora, they can escape at the right time and return to the real world. Then he goes to meet Alan and tells him you were right in all that you said, and he decides to return to his father's company to continue his career and appoint Alan as the president of the company because he is the only one who deserves this position. And after a while, Sam goes to meet Cora, after they are very close to each other, and take her out in the city and show her the sunrise for the first time in her life, and they will be very happy together in this way.
And finish the movie. Don't forget to say your opinion about this movie in the comments, and you can also suggest movies in the comments that we summarize on the channel of Movie Light. And don't forget to follow the channel, and goodbye.